I'm an autism awareness angel, making sure my wings protect the different, the stranger than. I'm an autism awareness angel. It's good, cause I'm cool with the unique behavior. I'm an autism awareness angel. Will you accept me? Cause I accept you. I'm an autism awareness angel, cause a view from the spectrum is a better point of view. The question at hand, are you aware of...
Hi, I'm Tally and welcome back to Autism 30. Today on our podcast, we are speaking to Self-Determination and Employment Coordinator, Mr. Shad Bouchard from CBI Consultants Limited. CBI Consultants Limited has been providing person and family-centered consultation and training to children and adults since 1990 and are committed to achieving diversity and inclusion for persons with disability through innovation and excellence. Mr. Chad Bouchard is the Self-Determination and Employment Coordinator with CBI Consultants Limited. Shad graduated from the University of Victoria with a degree in psychology and economics. He has been working with individuals with disabilities and their families for over 10 years in various capacities with a focus on employment in the last 7 years. He has been instrumental in co-authoring 3 self-determination curriculums, which are currently being used in school districts and community organizations throughout British Columbia, Ontario, and the Yukon. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you.
How did you become involved in autism?
I started working with CBI Consultants 7 years ago as an employment specialist. So my role at that time was to help individuals achieve employment and become successful on the worksite. So the majority of individuals that we do support at CBI do have a developmental disability such as autism.
And what is CBI Consultants Limited?
Well, CBI Consultants was established in 1990 in British Columbia, so we're going on our 26th year. Our mission is to support individuals worldwide to help them increase their quality of life.
Great.
We believe that all citizens have the right to be included in their neighborhood, their schools, and communities, have rich social lives, live in homes of their choosing, and have access to fulfilling real work for real pay.
Absolutely.
So our main goal is to help support individuals to increase their quality of life. We have online and in-person training in positive behavior supports, self-determination, customized employment, autism, and peer power, which we deliver to parents, service providers, schools, government agencies, and individuals throughout North America.
That's great.
We have about 35 people that work for the agency. There's 5 people that I work with on the customized employment and self-determination team, and another about 30 individuals that work in our positive behavior support side.
Now, why are the skills that you teach so vital to be able to find meaningful employment?
Well, what we do is we teach and we support job seekers in learning the natural process of obtaining and keeping a job. We involve them in all aspects of the employment process. The skills that we teach are transferable to all life domains and a variety of different situations.
That's great, because I know as a parent myself, I know a concern that we all have is, will our children be able to have meaningful employment? So you seem to have really good skills that you're going to be teaching them. And how many levels are there in your program, and what are they?
Well, in our self-determination curriculum, which we've been working on for the past 5 years, there are 2 levels in our secondary school self-determination curriculum and 1 level or 60 sessions in our middle school curriculum.
So you teach middle and high school?
Yes, we actually just came out with our middle school curriculum after 2 years of beta testing it. With the middle school, we're focusing more on problem solving, choice making, and decision making skills for these young adults. The curriculum basically starts to give the student a voice.
Which is great. And how do you facilitate that within the school?
Well, there are a number of ways that we can facilitate that. So we can go in and give direct instruction. We can give workshops to the teachers. We're able to be flexible according to the students and the parents and teachers' needs.
Which is great because I know I, as an educator, find it really important to learn different various techniques and whatnot to be able to reach the majority of students. Because, as you said, and I agree totally, that we do have an inclusive education here, which is vital, but teachers also need the tools to be able to do that adequately. So it's really great that you're going into the schools to be able to help educators succeed in doing that task.
Right, and that's the important thing too, is giving the teachers the support that they need and that they require, and to helping them develop their skills also, and same with the parents.
Absolutely, because I know I've said on many times on this podcast that I do truly believe that there needs to be far more education in the school system for the teachers to better understand the needs of the special needs students that they are teaching.
Yes, I agree.
And what are the best practices, in your opinion?
Well, a best practice is a method or technique that has been accepted in the industry as superior to any other alternatives. So, this started off with customized employment, which started about 7 years ago.
Yes.
And it's become a best practice. It's something now that it's person-centered, it's related to the individual, and it's customized to their strengths and talents.
Wonderful. So what you're saying is that every single client that comes to see you, you don't just give them a cookie cutter program, you really personalize it to that individual.
Well, exactly. And everybody that does come to CBI now, we are doing the self-determination with them, and this helps them, advocate for themselves, learn about their strengths and skills. So it's not me saying, okay, Bill, you're going to be really good doing this. It's Bill learning about what is going to make him successful, what is going to make him be successful in life.
What are the skills you teach that are so vital to our individuals?
Well, a great quote by James Martin and Laura Huber Marshall, which I think kind of puts it all together, is that a self-determined person is one who sets goals, makes decisions, sees options, solves problems, speaks up for himself or herself, and understands what supports are needed for success, and with that, knowing how to evaluate outcomes. Our curriculum gives the participants opportunities to develop, practice, and acquire these skills in a safe setting. The curriculum supports participants to develop a number of self-determination skills that are vital for an increased quality of life. Some of the main components that we do teach is choice making, responsible decision making, self-awareness and understanding, knowing what makes you unique and how it impacts you, being able to advocate for yourself, communication skills, being able to advocate for yourself in employment, goal setting and attainment, self-monitoring, self-management, self-evaluation, self-reinforcement, and the development of social skills and relationship building.
So basically what you're talking about is, I know as a parent, I'm my child's voice currently, and I pretty much do all of the things that you mentioned. And what you're talking about is what your company does really takes slowly by slowly, the onus, let's say, off the parent to give their child the voice so that they're able to be independent and self-reliant. And I love that you said advocacy, because I know in the autism community, advocacy is a huge platform that's needed to be able to give a voice to yourself. So what you're doing is you're giving our community members a voice for themselves that is coming from them, which I think is really important.
Right, and to put it to one sentence, it's giving the students a voice.
Yes.
And being able to advocate for themselves. And I think the biggest thing that we've come across is helping them recognize all the skills, strengths, and talents that they do have, instead of being prompted by others, which it's helping them realize, hey, I'm really good at doing this. This is something I can do. This is something that is valuable and something that is needed to be done. So.
Absolutely. And I know many of our community members are insanely talented and are immensely gifted in being able to help in whatever avenue that they choose. And I think it's really important that they themselves understand that as well, which is what you teach.
Well, exactly. And that's a big thing for all of us, is to recognize our skills and strengths. Right?
Yeah.
Not just for individuals with autism. It's all of us too.
I couldn't agree more. And unfortunately, currently now in society, hopefully with more awareness, there will be more people out there who will accept and understand that we have a lot. Our community has a lot to give society as a whole.
Oh, exactly. It's taken a period of time, but We get more and more each day.
Yes, we have a long way to go, but with companies like yours, I think we're headed on the right direction. And what are the maximum and minimum ages that are able to access your services?
Well, as I mentioned before, we've just recently completed a middle school self-determination curriculum. So now it's starting to develop those skills at a younger age and helping individuals being able to advocate for themselves at a younger age, develop those social skills, relationship skills. So I would say, right now we're able to work with individuals as young as 12 years. And really, we have no maximum age. I've worked with individuals for employment up to 50.
Wow.
50 some. So
that's wonderful. And why do you think it's important to start young?
Well, it's starting to give individuals a voice. It's starting to say that, my voice is important. My opinions are important, to starting to learn about yourself. The earlier you can do that, the better.
Absolutely.
The sooner you learn about your rights and responsibilities as a citizen, as a student, as a society.
Absolutely. And I know you say you work in schools, and I know something that the majority of our community members in school have is an IEP. So can you assist in the IEP? And for those of you that don't know, it's an individual education plan. Those meetings at school, can you assist in those?
Yes, we can. And actually, part of the curriculum, so after level 1 of the secondary school self-determination curriculum, the student completes what's called a self-directed life plan. So now it's their voice on a number of different life domains, developing SMART goals and action plans to achieve that. So we look at employment, we look at housing, we look at recreation, we look at social, transportation, future education, and travel.
Yes.
Then they put together a presentation, either video, PowerPoint, however they want to do it. It is their presentation. And then they present that as part of their IEP meeting. So it's meant to be done in conjunction with an IEP. It's not meant to replace an IEP, but it's meant to be now, okay, the student's voice. Let's have this, again, giving the student a voice.
And I think that's really important because I know myself as a parent, I certainly don't invite my child into those IEP meetings, but I know having attended a workshop that you did, which is where we originally met, something that you said really clicked with me, and that is inviting your child into the IEP meeting to be given that child a voice. And I thought, how empowering for that individual. And that way that they can feel empowered and responsible for their own lives, which I think is really, really vital. And I never thought of it that way, but the way that you put it really clicked and resonated with me.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah.
And how do you work with the educational establishments? And what is the process? If a parent would like you to work with their child in the school setting, how do you do that?
Well, with that, it can be unique with each child, each school, and each school district. So that can be kind of tough to answer, but what we would definitely do is meet with the parents, meet with the individual school team. I'm happy to do presentations to schools, school districts, principals, and facilitate that. So we do receive, the majority of our funding through CLBC.
Yes.
But we've also received some through the Ministry of Education. So there's a number of school districts that we're currently working with and helping teach self-determination again to the students and to the teachers. So that would vary on the student and vary on the person and vary on the funding even, I guess.
And can you use your autism funding that's provided by the British Columbia government to access your services?
Yes, so you're able to use the autism funding as the self-determination falls under the skills development category. So that is another great resource that parents can use.
Fantastic. What is the process to enroll in your program?
Well, we do receive referrals through Community Living British Columbia, so we have a number of contracts with them throughout the Lower Mainland. But we also can work individually with schools. We can work through MCFD, individual family funding. As you mentioned before, autism funding. We have received some funding through the Ministry of Education. So the big thing, if the parents are interested, for your son or daughter, is letting us know, and we can work together to find out a way to fund the program.
So am I correct as well? Let's say a school really would like to access your services because they deem it important because they know they have quite a large special needs body within their school. Can the schools contact you as well?
Yes.
Fantastic. And is there anything else you'd like to tell our audience about your program that we have not yet mentioned?
Well, I think the one thing to know is self-determination. It's a skill that needs to be explicitly taught, not just for people with diverse abilities, but it's a skill that everyone needs.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of people, in our community will not acquire self-determination skills unless it's explicitly taught.
Absolutely.
So what we've developed with our self-determination curriculum is it's a universal design. It works. We've done it in planning 10 classes, and we've done it with students with or without diverse abilities. It's something that we all need to get and to acquire. And it's a foundation. It's something that we build upon and keep building upon.
Absolutely. I know that some of my students have said this in the past is, we go to school and we learn about math, we learn about English, we learn about a foreign language, we learn all these skills, but we don't really learn individual life planning lessons. We don't learn about how to get a job. We don't learn about how to do our taxes and so on and so forth. And what you're saying is that you allow students, whether they have diverse abilities or not, to be able to live fully functioning in society as a constructive member of society and know how to do that. They have a plan, so when they're walking in, they're not insecure or lack the confidence to be able to do so.
Right, and that's a huge skill, and that's not something.
Oh, absolutely, it's a huge skill
that you can just learn over a few weeks or a few months and stuff. It's something that, again, you need to start young and to keep developing that and keep working with that throughout your whole school.
Absolutely.
Life.
So you're learning how to succeed and fail at an earlier time, so when you actually do, as an adult, get out there, it'll be a lot easier and a lot less challenging for you.
Well, exactly. And, the big buzzword lately in education is transition. And so this is where we've seen this works, and this helps make transition, easier.
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more.
It's a big, scary word, so as much as we can do, the better.
Absolutely. And you're very passionate about your work, so what do you love about your job?
Well, I think, there's many things that I love about it, but I think the biggest thing is changing people's opinions. I've gone in to meet with employers, and they're like, why would I hire someone like that? Why should I hire them? And then seeing after a few weeks and stuff, the individual succeed, the individual being employed. Even parents. I've had parents who started, their young son or daughter took the program. Oh, they're not going to succeed. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Where now, I have a young man who's been working for 3 years. He's taken transit on his own now. He's a regular member of society. He does what everybody else does. And before, he was taking handy dart here. The parents didn't see his talents and his skills. And now he's right out there, and he's, happy.
Oh, absolutely. And the parents must be completely overjoyed.
Oh, big time, yeah. And they're just, so we've seen lots of stories like that. So it's quite encouraging, and it's quite exciting.
Oh, God, absolutely. And how has working with families and individuals impacted your own life?
Well, I think it's just maybe more patient, maybe more understanding of others, kind of, and yeah.
No, absolutely. And what other types of support do you offer families and individuals?
Well, at CBI Consultants, so we also, as I mentioned earlier, we have a positive behavior support side. We offer training, so companies and organizations, so self-determination, positive behavior support, customized employment. So basically, we're around, again, with evidence-based practices to help increase an individual's quality of life. So.
Absolutely. And I think a company like yours offers hope to parents and individuals who are anxiety-ridden, thinking that employment and an independent life would be completely out of the question. You offer hope, and you have a clear plan as to how you do it. You don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk.
Exactly, yes.
And what would you personally like the world to know about autism?
Well, I think, people with autism, they're just like everybody else. They have skills, they have talents and abilities, and want to work and be contributing members of society. So it's time for us to give them this opportunity and to, let them advocate for themselves, hear their voice, and to give them these opportunities. I still hear stories from parents and everything like that where, their son or daughter has graduated high school and is sitting at home playing video games.
Yes.
Right? But we need to be looking at, their skills and talents and help support them and what support that they need, and give them that opportunity, I think, is the biggest thing. Give them the voice.
Absolutely, and I couldn't have said it any better myself. Well, I want to thank you, Chad, for coming in our studio today and meeting us and talking about your wonderful company.
Cool. Cool. Thank you.
If you would like to contact Mr. Shad Bouchard and CBI Consultants Limited, you can find all of their contact details on our webpage, where you can locate their YouTube page, their Facebook page, and you can access their newsletter from their webpage as well. Once again, this is Tally telling you to live in love.
Hey yo, I'm an autism awareness angel, making sure my wings protect the different, the stranger than. I'm an autism awareness angel. It's good, cause I'm cool with the unique behavior. I'm an autism awareness angel. Will you accept me? Cause I accept you. I'm an autism awareness angel, cause the view from the spectrum is a better point of view.